documents to your discretion to impart to the world in any form or manner you see fit. My only request is that you do so in a way that will not threaten your own life or well-being, if possible. If you were to incorporate these notes of my experiences into a work of fiction, such as a novel, the factual nature of the material could be easily dismissed or discredited by any agency for whom, quote, national security, unquote, is used as a personal shield against scrutiny and justice. In so doing, you can disavow any knowledge of their true origin and claim that it is a fictitious work of your own imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever said that, quote, truth is stranger than fiction is right as rain. For most people, all of this will be unbelievable. Unfortunately, beliefs are not reliable criteria for reality. That statement to me was really
extraordinary.
Yeah, I mean, so
all right.
Anyway, everyone can read the whole letter themselves. I have posted a small excerpt of the letter that begins to describe the incident itself on the website, which I believe you were going to read, Jeff.
Okay, let me go ahead and read that. She goes on to say, as you know, in July 1947, the Roswell Army Airfield issued a press release stating that personnel from the field's 509th Bomb Group had recovered a crashed flying disc from a ranch near Roswell, New Mexico, sparking intense media interest. When the news that there had been a crash was received at the base, I was asked to accompany Mr. Cavett, the counterintelligence officer, to the crash site as the driver of his vehicle, and to render emergency medical assistance to any survivors if necessary. When we arrived, I learned that one of the 4 personnel on board the craft had survived the crash and was conscious and apparently uninjured. The conscious alien was similar in appearance, but not the same as the others. None of the other personnel present could communicate with the survivor, as the being did not communicate verbally or by any recognizable signs. However, while I examined the patient for injuries, I immediately detected and understood that the alien being was attempting to communicate with me by mental images, which projected directly from the mind of the being. I immediately reported this phenomenon to Mr. Cavett. As no other person present could perceive these thoughts, and the alien seemed able and willing to communicate with me, it was decided that I would accompany the surviving alien back to the base. This was partly due to the fact that I was a nurse and could attend to the physical needs of the alien. I was thereafter assigned permanently to serve as a companion of the alien at all times. My duty was to communicate with the alien and to make a complete report of all that I discovered to command authorities. Subsequently, I was supplied with specific lists of questions provided to me by military and non-military personnel, which I was to interpret for the alien and to report the responses to the questions provided. I think the time has come to pass along the knowledge that has been kept secret for more than 60 years. I think there is a greater good to be served than protecting the vested interests for whom this information is considered a matter of national security. Mankind needs to know the answers to questions which are contained in these documents. Who are we? Where did we come from? What is our purpose on earth? If there are intelligent beings in the universe, why have they not contacted us? It is vital that people understand the devastating consequences to our physical and spiritual survival if we fail to take effective action to undo the long-standing and pervasive effects of alien intervention on Earth. Signed, Matilda O'Donnell McElroy, Senior Master Sergeant, Women's Army Air Force Medical Corps, retired, 509th Bomb Group, Roswell, New Mexico. It's an amazing letter.
It is. Actually, the entire letter, which you'll see in the book, is even more extraordinary. And when I first read the material and began going through all of the separate notes and piecing it all together, the more I got into it, the more fascinated I became, obviously, because the content of the transcripts themselves as well as her personal observations about her interactive communication with the alien, becomes, I mean, I don't even have words to describe how extraordinary it is. But for me personally, it has made a complete, utter paradigm shift in my worldview and universe view, so to speak, and answers questions that I didn't even consider ever even asking. I mean, I felt like me personally had never really even begun to ask the right questions, much less look in the right places for answers. So
that's quite a statement.
I'm fascinated
in and
to know
of
what
itself.
other people who are much better educated in these matters than I think about it, and at the very least, everyone should study it and draw their own conclusions. And I think everyone will have some to gain from it, from the point of view of at least having some alternative explanation for things that I think everyone has questioned. All of the decades down through which the UFO phenomena has been observed and discussed and so forth.
Lawrence, does the material contained in the book provided to you by Matilda O'Donnell McElroy answer substantially all the key questions which have vexed, confused, and infuriated in many cases, and enchanted generations of Americans since Roswell and before? Does it effectively answer most of those key, crucial questions in the book?
Well, I think that's an excellent question. And my only response to that, Jeff, would be to say it's not my place or my crusade to offer my personal opinion as to whether or not it answers those questions. I think really and truly that every single person who's interested would need to read the material and decide for themselves whether or not the material answers any or all or some or part of any of the questions they've ever asked. For me personally, just as one opinion among billions, it answers, as I said, more questions than I ever asked. I mean, I didn't even know, I never even conceived that there were such phenomena or things of the things discussed in the book were even conceivable. It's funny, I had a friend of mine who recently read the book, and he thought, he called me up and said, "Oh, Lawrence, this is a great work of, this is a great science fiction book, and you did a brilliant job of writing this." And I said, well, that's a great compliment, because I could not possibly conceive of half of the material in this book. I'm afraid that my creative imagination is far, far more limited than this. And I could never dream this stuff with my wildest imaginings. And that's literally true. I mean, I'm just not that good a writer. If I were that good a writer, I would be making a lot of money writing scripts for movies or something, it's beyond me. So, anyway, everybody has to read it and interpret the material for themselves.
Well, in point of fact, it down right now sounds like a script for a film.
Well, I suppose it could be, sure. If somebody, I'm sure lots of talented scriptwriters could create lots of, a whole series of science fiction movies or television
series, whatever. All right, this is going to be a book that is going to create an immense amount of interest. I'm going to literally buy mine as soon as we end the program. You can order it direct from Lulu Books, Lulu. Just go to the page, alieninterview.org, and I guess you click right there on Lulu. And
one of the reasons I chose Lulu is because you can download a PDF version of the book. It's only $5. I think anybody can afford that. The printed copy is $18.50, which I guess is reasonably priced. But it's very, very accessible.
Well, I'm going to get a printed copy right away. What I'd like to do, Lawrence, is invite you back here in maybe 3 months, 4 months, something like that, and see how this has played out. I'd be curious to see how you're treated.
Me too. I'd be absolutely fascinated to see what people have to say about it.
All right. Thank you very much for choosing to spend time on this program tonight. Thank you.
My pleasure, Jeff.
Okay, good night. Lawrence R. Spencer. I can't wait to get a hold of this book. As most of you know, I don't have very much time to read, but this is going to be a big one. All right, that's our program tonight. Thanks for being here. We'll be back in 21 hours.